This is Top 30.
Welcome to the show. I'm Richard Bacon.
And I'm Kristen Smith. We have 30 stories in 30 minutes. Coming up, a new target for identity thieves, our children. We'll tell you what to watch out for. If you're always late, now there's a scientific reason why. And the latest in a controversial lawsuit surrounding this selfie. But first, if you're looking for a deal on your next bottle of wine, well, you may be out of luck. According to the International Organization of Wine and Vine, global wine production fell to a 60-year low in 2017. The drop can largely be attributed to poor weather conditions in key wine-growing regions throughout the world. Europe, which accounts for 65% of global wine production, experienced hailstorms and frosts in the spring, followed by severe droughts in the summer. And wildfires in California destroyed or damaged some of its harvest. Experts say cheap and mass-produced wines will become more expensive because cheaper wines generally rely on grapes from more recent harvests. And producers targeting low price points already have small profit margins, so increased costs will likely pressure them to hike prices. Experts predict popular wines produced in Bordeaux, France, and Rioja, Spain will see the biggest price increases. But Argentina actually produced 25% more wine than the year before, so maybe make that next bottle a nice Argentinian Malbec. Well, Audi is recalling 1.2 million vehicles because the coolant pumps can overheat, possibly resulting in a fire. Consumers can expect a recall letter by June 11th. Redesigned pumps are on the way, but until then, an Audi spokesperson said dealers will install a replacement pump at no cost. And a group of strangers came together in Washington, D.C. to lift a car off a pedestrian that was hit and stuck underneath. The heroic feat was caught on camera by a taxi dash cam. 4 people were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And finally, this monkey selfie was at the center of a lawsuit in which PETA sued the owner of the camera that was used, arguing Naruto the monkey should own the copyright. Judges ruled unanimously this week to dismiss the lawsuit, citing U.S. copyright law does not give animals the rights to photographs or other works of art.
Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend and mine, Nicole Pedalidis. Nicole, you're talking about the fallout from yet another data breach.
That's right, Richard. The SEC is fining Alibaba, formerly known as Yahoo, $35 million after it failed for 2 years to disclose to the public a massive data breach. The SEC says that Alibaba misled investors after Russian hackers accessed the account information of 500 million users in December 2014. Amazon is child-proofing Alexa on May 9th. Amazon will roll out the Echo Dot Kids with child-friendly content and strict parental controls. Parents can set time limits and children can't shop online. Amazon also adds a positive reinforcement feature. If your child says please and thank you, Alexa will thank them for being polite. A South African airline wants to make you feel like a celebrity. Kulula Airways launching a contest looking for the wackiest plane faces to stretch 40 feet across the side of 6 Boeing 737 planes for 1 week. After uploading their picture, contestants will be able to see a simulation of what their face would look like on the side of the plane.
And Nicole, how will they pick the winners for this?
Well, Richard, the winner will be drawn based on the funniest and silly faces submitted.
Nicole, on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, thank you. Prince's heirs have filed a lawsuit against the hospital that treated him and the drugstore chain Walgreens. Prince was treated and released from Trinity Medical Center in Moline, Illinois, after an opioid overdose in 2016. He ended up dying a week later at his home from a separate overdose. The lawsuit states his death was a direct result of the inadequate care he received at the hospital the previous week. The lawsuit also alleges pharmacists at 2 Walgreens branches in Minnesota gave, quote, prescription medications not valid for a legitimate medical purpose. Neither Walgreens nor the hospital have publicly responded to the lawsuit. Investigators say Prince died after taking a counterfeit Vicodin pill laced with a dangerous opioid, but they couldn't find how Prince got the pills, so no criminal charges were filed in the case.
All right, Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Danielle Knox from Fox 35 Orlando has what you need to know today. So, Danielle, I hear you're talking about a creative new way to stop snoring.
Hi there. Well, I don't snore, but someone who I won't name in my family does, and researchers say we should stock up on pineapples. Pineapple plants apparently improve the air, helping people breathe more easily. They breathe in the carbon dioxide, removing it from the air, then release pure oxygen back into the room, apparently curbing snoring. There is a new warning out there about belly fat. European researchers studied people who had extra fat around their stomachs. They found those people had a much higher risk of major heart trouble compared to people with even fat distribution. And a striking statistic in the recent E. coli outbreak in romaine lettuce. About 70% of people affected are, well, women. Researchers at Johns Hopkins say that there are 3 reasons why women may be more affected by this outbreak. The most likely factors include that women's diets tend to include more vegetables. Also, women are more likely to report their symptoms to a doctor. And finally, studies suggest that women react more to E. coli bacteria, so it's just definitely something to be aware of. And that's what you need to know. Kristen, let's go back to you now.
That's really interesting. Thanks, Danielle. Now for this week's Page 6 Fix, we go to Elizabeth Wagmeister. Elizabeth, you have the inside scoop on the royal baby?
Well, Kristen, the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is less than 1 month away, but the other royals are stealing the spotlight. The Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, just gave birth to a healthy baby boy. It's the 3rd child for William and Kate, which makes him 5th in line for the throne, which means Prince Harry was just bumped to 6th in line. It's also reported that Kate's sister, Pippa Middleton, is now pregnant with her financier husband, James Matthews' baby. The news would come at a difficult time for the family since James' dad is facing some pretty serious allegations. And not to be outshined, Queen Elizabeth celebrated an epic 92nd birthday party at the famous Albert Hall with stars like Sting, Shaggy, Kylie Minogue, Tom Jones, and actor Luke Evans. But it was Meghan Markle that was turning heads as the bride-to-be arrived to the party in a stunning blue cape dress. And that's this week's Page 6 Fix. See you next time.
And she looks fabulous as always. Thanks, Elizabeth. For more news and gossip, watch Page 6 TV weekdays. Check your local listings.
Some car dealerships are trying to get new customers by offering a subscription plan. Automakers like BMW, Volvo and Porsche have already begun offering subscriptions, but subscriptions from a dealer offer the chance to choose more than one brand. Flex Wheels is run by a Florida dealership group. Subscribers use a mobile app to choose from models like the Cadillac XT5 and Ford F-150. The entry-level subscription costs $1,100 per month. That includes insurance, maintenance, and concierge service. Another company named Mobility launches next month for $549 a month. Users can drive a car for 30 days, then decide whether to buy, lease, or get another model. Some dealers wonder what will happen if subscriptions become more popular. It could change the role of salespeople as well as the finance and insurance office in most dealerships. If the subscription model is a success, car dealerships of the future could look very different.
Yeah, very different indeed. Top 30, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Top 30. A new report says that last year, identity theft and fraud affected more than 1 million children. 2/3 of the affected kids were aged 7 or younger. 60% of the victims know the perpetrator. It's actually 2 different types of fraud there, which is you've got identity theft by people you don't know, which is obviously done by hacking.
Yeah.
And there is another section there, which is literally people in your family or friends who steal your child's identity, which is such a strange statement to make in its own right.
Who does that? But it makes sense when you think about it because children have such a blank slate. But then the kid turns 16 and goes to buy their first car, and voila.
Yeah, and they've got terrible credit. Or some debt collector turns up at your house to collect a debt in your 7-year-old's name.
Yeah. You know, I never think of checking my child's credit report. You know, I just don't. It's not something top of my...
Yeah.
So, but that's actually a tip that experts are saying you should check it.
I mean, it's just the identity theft is just one of those things that every year it grows and grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, here's a new survey to talk about, and I think it's pretty interesting. Single people said the most important trait they look for is good conversation. It rated higher than even physical attraction. 58% of singles said their biggest turn off was bad grammar.
You know, there's people on Twitter who constantly correct people's grammar. They go, it's your, not your.
Yeah.
You know that? I think it reveals an intellectual insecurity in the person doing the correct thing, because you're actually trying to say, I'm cleverer than you, look how educated I am, I notice you're bad with grammar. I just don't think it matters.
Okay, so as far as chatting turnoffs, taking too long to respond was super annoying. Overusing explicit emoji.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to get into that too much more.
No, the emojis are hilarious. The least popular emoji is the eggplant. Yeah.
I didn't think we needed to get into it, apparently we do.
Do not send an unsolicited eggplant.
But the most popular emoji that people love, the heart eyes.
Yeah.
I love that one. The kissy face is a good one. And then what's the other one?
Winking.
Okay, what I loved is that people don't like talking about politics when it comes to dating apps and dating sites. 50% said they don't want to talk about President Trump anymore. 20% said they didn't want to talk about your specialty diet.
Yeah.
Which you and I would completely be disqualified because we talk about what we're eating quite often.
If you can't talk about dieting and politics, then, you know, thank God we're not single.
I know, right?
Yeah. Top 30 will be right back.
In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 35 Orlando, a JV volleyball team in Port Orange, Florida, has one player who's defying the odds. Robbie Onusko was born with amniotic band syndrome. It happens when the amniotic sac ruptures and becomes entangled with the fetus, causing certain limbs to be underdeveloped. This left Robbie with an underdeveloped arm. But Robbie never let his disability stop him from pursuing his dream of playing sports.
No matter what you're going through, just don't let anything get in your way. Always try and be your best, no matter what that is.
And Robbie hopes to make the varsity team next year. In our second story from Fox 10 Phoenix, the vast majority of organ donations come from donors who are already deceased. But Beth Ramirez made the selfless decision to donate a kidney to a complete stranger. She said it was the least she could do to help someone else.
We are all in this world together, and if you can make a difference in someone's life, then you should.
In our final story from Fox 2 Detroit, Bill Floor is the assistant baseball coach at Northville High School. But one of the things he does off the field is organize the team's annual Armed Forces Day. This year, Bill is planning an emotional, symbolic display. Combat boots will line the path to a memorial honoring soldiers who have lost their lives in combat since 9/11. And afterwards, Bill plans to donate the boots to homeless veterans through the Michigan Veterans Foundation. Welcome back. A new survey found 44% of workers sought revenge on a coworker. The top thing people did was lower quality work to get back at their boss. Wow, now you've surely never done anything like that. Right?
Well, I actually don't think I have. Well, unless, I mean, if doing low quality work is a way of getting back at your boss, and I've been getting back at bosses for the 22 years of my professional life unbroken. But it's such a wide spectrum in this study. So it says it includes hiding your co-workers' possessions.
Who does that? That's so petty.
That's just, I mean, but to me, that's, like, funny. But it also includes getting a co-worker fired. And to me, they're so dramatically different that I'm not sure they should be included in the, in the same category.
And then there's quitting in an unconventional way. Think Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was an unconventional quitting scenario.
That was full of glory.
That was so good. Who's with me?
If you are the type of person that gets a co-worker fired, it says don't do it. Because if you get a co-worker fired, even if you keep your job, you have a reputation for doing that. So people will dislike you. You will dislike them because they dislike you. And then you're trapped in a cycle of bitterness.
And even though it feels good in the moment, the long-term effects are not good because word gets around and your reputation will follow you wherever you go.
Yes, exactly. Such as my reputation for poor work. Here is an interesting story about people who are always late. Researchers say they are typically more successful and live longer. Good. One of the reasons they are late, they are optimistic about things they can get done in a short period of time. See, I'm often late for work, as you know, and
yes, extremely late.
Like I'm not. Well,
I'm just kidding.
Define extremely.
It's relative.
You know?
It's relative. You're right. I don't want to throw you under the bus.
What stands out to me in the survey as being true is it comes from that place of optimism. You think optimism is exclusively a good thing. It isn't, because you're like, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
right?
And you think you can do this, 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 and this, go to the store, run this errand, pick up this, have a power lunch, all in 45 minutes. That optimism is just, it's unrealistic.
But then the flip side of that is actually that you take risks and you're more adventurous.
Not as stressed out.
And not as stressed out. And I think that is why they're saying optimistic people are probably more successful, even though they will get into trouble for badly planning things. And that is basically the story of my life.
Yeah. All right, you guys, this next story is going viral. A 12-year-old Australian boy got mad at his mom, so he decided to go on an adventure. So listen to this. Here's what he did. He grabbed his family's credit cards. He researched which airlines would allow him to fly without a permission slip and booked a ticket to Bali, along with a hotel. He then tricked his grandmother into giving him a passport, took his kick scooter to a nearby train station, then hopped on a train to Sydney's airport, and then used one of those self-check-in kiosks to get his ticket. His flight landed in Perth, then went on to Bali. Once there, he told immigration his mom was picking him up and was outside, so he lied. And then he headed to his hotel. At the hotel, he lied again, said his sister was meeting him and that he just showed up early.
This is a bright kid.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, in the future, when he is a CEO of a major company or running a £1 billion Silicon Valley startup he created or huge somewhere in the creative industries, they'll be making speeches about him going, you know what, we knew he'd break the mold. Here's what he did when he was 12.
However, his parents must have been going crazy. Can you even imagine those days when he was missing?
I think as parents, you'd have to play the good cop, bad cop. You'd be mad at him?
Yeah.
Kid, I'm proud of you. Top 30 will be right back.
The world's largest Lego replica of the Titanic was made by a 10-year-old boy with autism from Iceland. Well, he's now 15, and we've got Brynjar Karl here with us today. Hi, Brynjar.
Hi.
Well, you are wildly talented. It looks like this would have taken a really long time to build. How long did you work on this?
It took me around 11 months and 700 hours to make it completely.
Do you know how many Lego pieces you used?
Over 56,000 bricks.
Brynjar, how big is the ship that you made?
Over, I think, 25 feet.
Did it end up being therapeutic for you?
I've overcome these challenges just because my obsession kept me going. It didn't want to stop.
And that last Lego that you put on there, when it was completely finished, what did that feel like?
I was relieved, I was happy, and we celebrated, and we are just having a lot of fun.
Your Lego replica was such a big deal that they actually shipped it from Iceland to Tennessee to be in the Titanic Museum attraction. Now, that had to feel good.
I've never experienced so, happy and honored in my life ever. I cannot be more thankful.
Best of luck to you. I can't wait to see what you build next.
Well, thank you, but I think those days, Lego days for me, are over. But I am planning to become a captain, so my ship days are not.
Brynjar's Titanic Lego ship will be on display at the museum in Tennessee until December 2019. All right, Steph Curry is one of the NBA's biggest stars. He's amazing. And Paige Failing from Fox 46 in Charlotte joins us now to tell us more about what their hometown hero is up to. Paige, I hear Steph's keeping very busy off the court, too.
Yeah, because Steph Curry's not busy enough, right? He's got a third baby on the way, an all-star NBA career to keep up with, and now the Queen City's favorite son is announcing a deal with Sony Pictures Entertainment to produce TV, film, and possibly gaming projects. They are set to focus on family, faith, and of course some sports themes. They haven't said specifically what the projects are going to be, but Curry said in a statement that he wants to use this to, quote, affect the world positively, which, if you follow Steph or his girl boss wife, Ayesha, on social media, you know they are already doing big time. And Kristen, we like to joke here that really, though, the couple's oldest daughter, Riley, is the real star of the family. So hopefully they'll find some way to incorporate her somehow, too. These folks are big time #family goals.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thanks, Paige. Welcome back to Top 30. One celeb is finally speaking out after getting into a very public fight with one of her co-stars. Jason Matheson, host of The Jason Show on Fox 9 in Minneapolis, tells us more. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Kristen. Well, we've all heard by now the spat between Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker from Sex and the City. But here's the deal. We really haven't heard a lot on the record, it sounds so serious, from SJP until now. In a brand new interview with Vulture.com, she says she's never really been in a catfight with anyone. She also says that all of the co-stars actually got along on the set. Now, that is quite different from Kim Cattrall's version of the Sex and the City years. And she's actually still holding out hope, or at least we are, for a third Sex and the City movie. Let's hope. Kristen?
Well, they need to all make up because in my mind, they're going to be best friends forever. And I know you agree. Thanks, Jason.
All right, that's it for today's show. Here's what's coming up on the next Top 30. The recent emergency on a Southwest flight is under investigation, and it could raise questions about whether the explosion was an isolated incident or the result of bigger problems at the airline. Plus, one new movie is set to shatter records at the box office. We'll talk to a correspondent from Fandango about Avengers: Infinity War. And 71,000 people cheered for a longtime Penn State fan who got to score her own touchdown. You can also listen to the day's biggest stories by subscribing to the new Top 30 podcast, now on iTunes. See you next time here on Top 30.